Hi, hello, good morning everyone. Thank you for coming to join me today. I've done some work and managed to finish my witchy journal. I think there's only one video previously to this. I just haven't been doing videos. I have been doing a little bit of crafting, but not an awful lot. So this journal is using the kit Witchy from my friend Amy at Crafty Cat. And I've enjoyed it. I've had fun making it. Measurement wise, it is about 8.5 tall by about 6 inches wide, roughly. Fabric cover, that's it from the top. I hope you can see that. I've used some fabric on the front to make the cover, and some, not sari, what's this called? Seam binding. And let me just take that card out so you can see way up. It's it's actually called grunge, this fabric. Moda do a line of grunge fabric, and I had this piece of purple that I haven't used, and so I thought that was perfect for the witchy journal. And I've got a piece of black lace there that I've sewn on as just a little pocket. In that pocket I've put, completely inspired by my friend Amy, I forgot that I didn't forget, we can use window envelopes for all sorts of things, and Amy's looking at making different things from, I think, Amy, I think this was from your folder of ideas, and it's a window envelope that is just a journal card, and I've used one of Amy's images in there and some of her papers from the kit. It says the witching hour on there, and the flap of the envelope I've made as a little pocket, little tuck spot to put that in, and it says Wonders of a Witch in there. And then I just attached a piece of extra paper onto the back of it so that it can be a longer journaling space. And I've put it in the front pocket because I thought she looked nice for no other reason. So Amy, thank you for reminding me about using window envelopes. That was fun to do. So on the inside, I've used some black fabric with some grey flowers on it. Hope that shows up. I think that we made this pocket together, so it flips out, and you can see that was an envelope as well. And then one of Amy's images, and it says Witches. And then this was an envelope, and I've used one of Amy's die cuts there, and Tim Holt's moon, and it says Full Moon. So that's a journaling card on there that fits in. And then here on the front I put a pocket on, and again one of the images from Amy's kit. That's from Amy's kit as well, but not the Witches one, and I just put that on there. And I think these papers are the grey grunge, I think, could be wrong. Is a paint chip excuse me, and I think we did I'm not sure if I did that one with you or not, I can't remember. And then a Tim Holt's card on there that I've just backed, and then one of the cutouts from Amy's kit. I love the purple flowers, so it's kind of, I suppose for me it kind of felt like a woodland witches. That was my thoughts. That image is from a kit from I'm going to say Ruby and Pearl. I've put one of Amy's cobweb die cuts on there. Sorry, I thought my phone had switched off then. The words are from, I'm going to say Mrs. Cog, and then they're Tim Holt's words. And again, that's one of Amy's images from a different kit, probably the Haunted kit. Then that's a journal card that I've made with Amy's paint chip, and put one of the images on there with some of the crochet. And that does, I love these little paper clips, but they can be a devil to use at times. So that just goes on there. Piece of book page, rag paper. I think we made this pocket together, so I did it as a false pocket. And I made the journaling card, and that image is from Art House Whimsy. And I put some lace is what it's called, isn't it? And then again some grungy tea-dyed paper on the back, so that's a good journaling space just there. I think these papers are from a kit from Tracy Fox, I think. I just had papers in a box that I've copied on the back of. My tea dyed paper, and I've just ripped the edge and then inked it with a bit of purple. Love Amy's papers. And then I made the false pocket there, and it says the witching hour. And again, there's just some extra paper on there. This is from the Dark Fay, and that's the Dark Fay. And I think if you got a white pen, you might be able to write on these. Then that flips, and I put a little pocket on the back there. And again, that's from, sorry, there's something stuck on there. Isn't it typical? That is from Ruby and Pearl. Art House Whimsy. Amy. Can't think where things are from. The little card there that I've put, I made a belly band. I had some ribbon, and I've put some black daisies on it. And that little card there with different words. It says, moonlight, put a spell on you, witchy, All Hallows Eve, black cat, sisters, we fly, trick or treat. And I think again that was from the Witches kit from Ruby and Pearl. That's just a piece of texture paper. Amy's, I think that's from the Dark Fay. And then I've used Amy's Dark Fay pockets on here. Hocus Pocus, and then 3 journaling cards. I love the purples. They all go together. So, you know, these pockets are from the Dark Fay kit, but they work well with this Witchy kit. And they all fit in there. They're all Woodland witches, I think. This is one of Amy's paint chip papers, and I've put one of her die cut trees on there, and then I fussy cut her. She's on one of the tags, but I fussy cut her out to put her on there. And it says, by the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked comes this way. And that's a quote from Shakespeare. Let's see if I can slip that underneath. I can. Makes a change. This pocket, I was unsure what to do with it, if you remember. I was going to put one of the cutout witches on it, but I changed my mind, and I've made a little book to go in, and I thought it looks as if you're walking through the woods and you're coming up to this castle up on the hill. Maybe she lives there. So I've just put some papers together. I put one of the others on the back so it's double, and then I've just made a little booklet there that I've stenciled in purple, just so that you've got extra writing space. And then that's a coffee filter on there. So lots and lots of writing space. And that's actually quite flat. It isn't bulky in the journal, but there is plenty of space to write. More of my tea dyed paper. And how I got the bubbles and these marks. I've got an old roasting tin that's a little bit rusty on the bottom, and if I put the wet paper on it, I'm going to say it oxidizes or does some magic. And if I lay more than one sheet of paper on it, bubbles, they don't lay flat. You know, when you put a wet piece of paper over a wet piece of paper, there's sometimes a little bubble, and it caused those bubbles, which I thought was quite cool. I thought it was. And that one's got lots of little bubbles around it. That's how I did it. And I leave my papers to air dry. I don't put them in the oven or anything like that. I just wait until they're all dry. And if you've got a big stack of them, it can take a few days, but I just leave it. Let it do its magic. Piece of paper. I've put a piece of the same fabric on there. And I've used one of the Tim Holtz ladies on there. And I think she's there ready to read your palm. So she lives in the woods, and she does have a spell book just here, and that just opens up, and I've just inked it so it's not pure white underneath. And then on the threads, I've just put an old rusty key and just a couple of beads on there. So you can go into the woods and you can get your fortune read, and you can write your wishes and the spell book. You could do so much with these pages, honestly, they're just beautiful. That one says Moonlight, and isn't she just a beautiful witch? She's in the woods as well. And it's not going to work for me, is it, that paper clip? They're quite tight paper clips, is how I would describe them. And then again, one of those pictures there, and it says, one need not a chamber to be haunted. One need not a house. The brain has corridors surpassing material places. And I think, you know, your imagination can run wild, can't it? You know, you can see that in the dark in the moon and it can be a haunted house, but you can see it in the morning and it's just a beautiful house on the top of a hill. You know, my imagination runs wild, I have to say. I'm not very good with horror films and things. No. One of Amy's witches, and I've fussy cut. I've did that a couple of times. One of the papers has gorgeous flowers on. I think that might be from the Dark Fay kit with the flowers, but I just fussy cut them out of the paper and use them to decorate it. Like this paper, you know, you can fussy cut the flowers. And that flips out, and again there is a journaling card just there. I love the black cats, and that little girl, look at her face. She looks so grumpy, and again that's a ruby and pearl, I think. And Amy's Dark Fay. Again, one of Amy's paint chips on there, and I've just put an image. I loved the greens, it went really well, so I used a couple of the purple ones and a couple of the green of the paint chip. I think that's what they're called, paint hand chips. Black cat. And that's, is it a witch that's turned herself into a cat? Or is it a witch who's put an enchantment on their cat? Who knows? So I hope you like this. I have enjoyed doing it. I have found it difficult to sit and craft, I won't lie. And again, this lady is from one of Amy's other kits. It escapes me at them. Is it the New Orleans kit, I think? And I just fussy cut her out. And I've given her a broomstick, one of Amy's die cuts, and it says, Elmira is a curious woman. And I think she lives there. And she's got an umbrella in her hand. I love the outfit she's wearing. But I thought she went well with this journal. And then I've put some lace on the back there because I just liked the colour. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn and cauldron bubble. And again, that's William Shakespeare. And that lady there with her black cat. And that just fits in there. And then in the back, I've just made an envelope out of a piece of the paper that I had left over. Decorated it. That's not a card, it's just decorated, collaged on there with that witch. And she's got pumpkins in her hair. Halloweeny. And then all that I've put in there is bits and pieces that I've had left over. So these witches, a couple of paint chips and a couple of the tags and things that I've had left over that I thought, you know, if anybody wanted this journal, they could use them to decorate it that bit further. So that is my witchy journal. I hope that you like it. Now, this journal, it is for sale. If anybody is interested in it, then my contact details are in the description below, either my email address or my Instagram. I am aware of the issue that we've got at the moment, where if we were to post something to the USA, the tariffs have changed. And whereas there was an $800, anything under the cost of $800 didn't attract a tariff, I'm now aware that that's gone. So I'm guessing that this won't be going to the USA because that just makes, you know, it's too unpredictable for people at the minute to know what charges they would get in the USA if they were to purchase this. And that makes me really sad. It really does. It is what it is. Hopefully that is maybe changing in 6 months' time. I don't know. I can't get my head around it, if I'm honest. I can't get my head around a lot of things these days, though. But having said that, if anybody is interested in this little journal, then just contact me, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you and see where we go. But this kit from Amy, I've really enjoyed it. A couple of other people are using it. Nancy Piter is using it and she's got videos, and Mitzi is using it. I'll put their YouTube addresses, what do you call it? Click on it and you go to their YouTube. Sorry, I'm really out of doing videos. And Amy has just started an altered book using it as well, which is great fun. So I hope you like the way that I've interpreted Amy's kit, and I hope that you do go and have a look at what the others are doing. So love you lots, folks, and I will be back crafting soon, just not for a couple of weeks. But take care all. Bye.